Hello everyone, my name is Denise, this is Yogi. I thought that Yogi wasn't going to join me today. I'm happy he did. So today's video is going to be my favorite horror movies of all time. Like there isn't a day, month, or year where I don't think about these movies or where I don't quote these movies or listen to the music from these movies. Like these are my all-time favorite my favorite horror movies ever. I even wrote down a list of why I love these movies, even like the back of the paper. I don't know if you can see it, but the back is even filled with reasons why I love these movies. I wanted to get all my thoughts like in order so that way I don't miss anything. So coming in at number 5 is Wreck. Now the first thing, or should I say person, I think of when I think of Wreck is the character named Manu. Oh my god, every time I think of Manu, I'm like, oh my god, he is such a homeboy. Oh my god, he is just so freaking awesome. God forbid if I was ever in a building where I was being chased by infected people or trapped in a building, I would want to have him on my team, on my side, because oh my god, he is just like, well, how would you say, like, he's like a superhero in my opinion. Like he'll protect you no matter what. He'll try his best, and he's the type of person that I think everyone would love to have on their side. Another character I think about when I think of Wreck is a character named Caesar. A lot of people may not agree with me on this, but for me, he reminds me of Tim Curry. Like, I don't know, maybe there's some facial features that he has that reminds me. Maybe it's the eyes or the nose, the lips, I don't know. But I think it's mostly the eyes that remind me of Tim Curry. And Caesar is just so flamboyant, so funny. For me, I think he really made some of the scenes funny with the way he delivered his lines. So on IMDb it says that her name, well, it's in Spanish, but in English it'll be Mother Hysterical or Hysterical Mother. I know how to say madre, but for hysterical, I don't know how to say that word in Spanish. But that's her character name, Mother Hysterical, or if you put it backwards, Hysterical Mother. She, oh my god, for me, I feel like she would be such a Karen in real life, because every little thing she says, oh, I'm going to report it to the building manager, oh, I'm going to report it to the police, I'm going to all the newspapers. And I'm like, oh my god, don't you have a life? I feel like she's like one of those stay-at-home moms who, like, any little thing would just set them off, and then they would feel like they would have to go report it or do something about it, or always complain about stuff. But anyway, yeah, she was one of those characters in the film that really got me mad. And I felt so bad because there was these characters that were from like a different country. Like they didn't speak, because the film is in Spanish, but you can put it in English if you want. There's these characters from like from out of the country, and they speak like broken Spanish, or if you hear it in English, then broken English. And she was like, what? I can't understand you. What are you saying? And I'm like, oh my god, like that is so, for me, it's like disgusting behavior. Like, why would you say that to someone? So like, for me, that character, like her character was just so annoying. Oh my gosh, she just really pissed me off. But I feel like there's like a balance of different characters in the film. Some of them you can love, like Caesar and Manu, I love them. And then there's other characters like her that really piss you off. Or, there's different characters that can sometimes annoy you, and maybe you can think like, oh, just shut up already, because that's what I thought when she was talking. And here's another fun fact. I'm gonna read this from IMDb. It says the actors were never given the script in its entirety, so none of them knew of their character's fate, sometimes not until the day they were actually filming their scenes. This meant that actors were more often than not stressed, nervous, and apprehensive on the day of filming, ideal qualities for the film itself. So I think it really showed in the movie that they were really stressed and panicking. Now I know why, because they were like, what the hell do I say? What the hell do I do? So I think that's like an awesome fun fact to know, like when you're watching the film. Maybe you can tell that some of them are like what the hell do we do? So, coming in at number 4 is As Above, So Below. This movie, okay, let me explain it like this. Before, if you want to see this movie, then you should read like snippets of The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. But you can read like bits and pieces of The Divine Comedy. Or after you're done watching As Above, So Below, then you can look up how The Divine Comedy and As Above, So Below kind of like connect, or because the thing is like when I first saw As Above, So Below, I never even read The Divine Comedy. I heard of it before, but I never read it. But then in high school, when in class we had to like read like bits and pieces of it, I couldn't help but see like similarities of The Divine Comedy and As Above, So Below. So then after knowing like some parts of the book, I'm like, okay, this part in As Above, So Below made so much more sense. And it was just so mind-blowing how As Above, So Below and The Divine Comedy line up or connect. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's so interesting. So it's up to you if you want to see the movie and then see how The Divine Comedy and As Above, So Below connect, or you can read The Divine Comedy first, or like bits and pieces of it, because it's like a big book. So you can like read bits and pieces and then see As Above, So Below. So it's up to you. It's just interesting how the characters have to face their past, or if they feel extremely guilty about something, they have to face that too. And it's just very interesting. So going back to the different characters, you know how different characters, they have different types of personalities. So with the main character, Scarlett, oh my god, she freaking pissed me off so bad. It was just so frustrating because with her, it was always, oh, let's keep going, it's too late to turn back now, you know? And I'm like, oh my god, but like if someone was to tell me that, I'd be like, okay, shut up, because we're in this because of you, because you don't know when to stop. Like, oh my god, I would have gone off on her if I was in that situation with her or someone like her. Oh my god, she played, the actress who played Scarlett played her extremely well. And I also like Zed. He was like the nice, fun, loving type of character. Benji, he was serious and he would freak out. Like, I feel like a lot of us would, like if we were in the catacombs and we felt suffocated. He played the guy who played Benji played him extremely well. And Pepion, he was kind of like, for me, the way I interpreted him was like that he was kind of like, kind of thought that he was cool, but he was kind of like a douchebag at the same time. Like, I don't know, that type of character. And then Suxi, she was like, I don't even know how to explain her, because she was just there. It does sound messed up, but she was there. And she was just, I guess another female part in the movie, now that I think about it. Maybe, I know she played a role in one of the like drama going on. Like, if you see the movie, you can see maybe there was some tension between Suxi, Pepion, and then some other guy, La Taupe. But yeah, maybe that was one of the reasons why they added her. Yeah, I don't know how to explain Suxi, but she was there. And one more character I almost forgot to mention was George. I don't know how I forgot about him, but George, he was a character that you could tell that he was sensitive and that he has some trauma. And I felt so bad when there's like this scene where all of them are entering like this little underground hole to enter the catacombs, and George kind of has to go in order to like escape police. And I felt so bad for him because he didn't want to be there in the first place. Oh my god, I don't know how he, I guess, loved Scarlett. I mean, I mean, that's like true love right there. I mean, to love someone who forces you to do stuff that you don't want to do or you don't feel comfortable doing, that is true love right there. And for some reason, whenever I think about As Above, So Below, I always think of the quote, "The only way out is down." On random days, that quote would randomly pop into my head, and I'm like, oh, the only way out is down. Like, I don't know why, but that quote always stuck with me. Another thing I would like to mention before I go to number 3 is that in As Above, So Below, there's these 2 songs that I love. It's, one of them was playing at the club when Scarlett, George, and Benji were looking for Pepion. And I'm going to link the song down below. And another song that I'm going to link in the description box is like the ending credits song. That song is good too. I mean, I don't know what they're saying in French, but I like it. So I'm going to link those songs down below if you're interested in checking them out. So coming in at number 3 is Grave Encounters. And whenever I think of this movie, I think of a few things. One of them is my niece Gabby. Oh my god. Whenever I think of this movie, I think of the quote where like this guy, this character Houston Gray is like this. He's like, I'm sensing spirits, and he's like trying to do the whole like medium thing. And like whenever I think of that quote or think of this movie, I think of Gabby. And Gabby, if you're watching this, hi. Another thing that I think of is that in the beginning, when you're getting to know the characters and the building that the Grave Encounters team are filming at, in the beginning it's like very funny, and then slowly it starts to slow down, and then it gets, slowly but surely it starts to get scary and scarier, and then there's jump scares that, well, they made me jump. I don't know about you guys, but they made me jump. And a few of the ghosts in the film, so creepy and so scary, especially when like their mouth opens up. And I have to give credit to the actors and actresses, because when they scream, whether it's in pain or fear, they scream like extremely well, especially like Lance. Oh my god, that actor can scream good, like genuine fear. Like for me, it's very rare to hear a man scream, because I'm always used to hearing females scream, but to hear a man scream in genuine fear is like, for me, very like even more scary than to hear a female scream. So yeah, I think this cast is like extremely well, what's that word, well put together. Oh, I remember now. It was well casting, there you go, that they cast extremely great actors and actresses. And a similarity I realized when I was writing down like all my notes and stuff was that Lance in Grave Encounters reminds me of Scarlett and As Above, So Below, meaning like Scarlett wants to keep on going, find the truth no matter what, and then Lance wants to record no matter what, and he just wants to keep going and get proof of the ghost, so that way, you know, he can make it in, I guess, the ghost adventures, like ghost hunting world. Like, he just wants the proof so bad that no matter what, he'll keep recording and keep going. And one more thing before we get to number 2 is that I feel like Grave Encounters is such an underrated movie, because for me, I know everyone's different, but for me, this movie genuinely made me jump, made me so scared, and I just love how it has like a balance of like beginning, it was very lighthearted and fun, but then it gets very serious and like there's no fun and games anymore. So that's what I like about Grave Encounters, and if you guys ever see it for the first time, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I would recommend like seeing it in complete darkness, because I wish I did that when I first saw this movie, but excuse me, but I can't go back in time. If you get a chance, I highly recommend you watch this movie in the dark, because it's a great experience in my opinion. So coming in at number 2 is Final Destination. Well, that Final Destination with the original Final Destination is what I'm trying to say. I also love Final Destination 1, 2, and 5. Well, 5. I was obsessed with those 3 movies in 7th and 8th grade. Like, no lie, I would watch them over and over again, and it got to the point where I would memorize like all the deaths from front to back, and sometimes depending on the movie, I think for like the first and second one, I can memorize like from back, well, from the last death to the first death. 1, 2, and 5, in my opinion, is the best. 3 and 4, I feel like they kind of made those movies to play off of people's fears, in my opinion. But yeah, but anyway, going back to Final Destination 1, the first one, such a great movie for me. It was such a unique twist on cheating death, and I'm not going to lie, it did traumatize me from going on a plane. So for Final Destination, this is one of the movies, whether it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whichever one, but I will constantly think of Final Destination, whether it's me crossing the street, me driving somewhere, or me just walking down the stairs. Like, I will forever think of this movie, because of course I don't want to die and I want to be careful, but I feel like this movie will stay with me forever because it's made me more paranoid, but not in a bad way, just like to be sure that I'm like aware of my surroundings, that I just don't like cross the street without looking both ways. Especially when I'm walking Yogi, I'm like, wait, Yogi, wait, and I look both ways, but Yogi doesn't run. If you see him, it is so funny. He'll just stay there walking all nice and so like he owns the street, and then for some reason he'll stop in the middle of the road, and it freaks me out. He'll stop, and I'm just there with him, and I'm looking both ways, trying to be aware that no cars are coming. And Yogi's just there, and he like shakes, I guess because of the leash, it's like itching or I don't know what, but he always like shakes, or he'll just stand there and look around like being nosy, and I'm like, Yogi, please, can we please go to the other side of the street, because it's like really freaking me out, and sometimes I have to pick him up and put him on the other side of the street. But anyway, this is like one of the movies that will forever stick with me, that I will forever think about, even if it's any little thing that I do, I would think about Final Destination. I don't remember if it was last year or in 2021, but at the time I was obsessed with this song called Into the Void by 9 Inch Nails, and my cousin Cindy said, oh yeah, you know that song was in Final Destination, and I said, really? And in what scene? And like in the first Final Destination? And she was like, yeah, I think it's like the scene where someone's in the car, and I looked it up, and it was true. It was Carter, who was in the car with, I guess, his girlfriend Terry, and I was like, oh my god, no wonder why I like this song so much, and I felt like I recognized it from somewhere, so when she told me that, it like blew my mind. But anyway, I will link that song down below, just in case if anyone wants to hear it. One of the things that I wanted to mention was that I love Final Destination, and no matter how many times I see this film, I can never remember the teacher's name. Valerie Newton, the character Newton, Mrs. Newton. For some reason, I can never remember her name, and I think it's mostly because like when I feel like I don't really like a character or they frustrate me, I kind of like in my head I'm just like, okay, like I don't want to pay attention to you. For her character, she kind of like pissed me off because I felt so bad for Alex. He's the main character. I felt bad because in the funeral she made it seem like it was his fault, like that the plane exploded, that everyone died. Another character I didn't like was Terry, and I honestly forgot the reason why. I forgot. Maybe it was because I don't want to say she was sassy, but for me she was kind of like an asshole. Like, I don't know, I felt like Alex and Claire, they were trying to help everyone not die, and Terry and the teacher, Valerie Newton, like, they just didn't listen. So maybe that was one of the reasons why I didn't like Terry, was because she wasn't listening. And one thing I would like to mention is that I like how each character shows different emotions for when they're told like death is going to go for them, like find them, try to get them. And I like how Carter, because I can kind of relate to Carter, because he's very like arrogant or ignorant, whatever you want to call him. He was like, yeah, death is not gonna come for me. I can't die. Like, you know, he thought he was like a badass. Like he honestly thought that death wasn't gonna touch him. So I felt like he was like so in denial that he was like, yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. If you haven't seen the Final Destination franchise, I would highly recommend that you see 1, 2, and 5, because in my opinion those fit well together. Like, they're like a puzzle piece. But if you would like to give 3 and 4 a shot, then, you know, be my guest. Don't get me wrong, I like them, but I just feel like they just made them to make, you know, money. But Final Destination 1, 2, and 5, in my opinion, the best. So, coming in at number 1, and this is like a sneak peek. So coming in at number 1 is obviously Scream. Words cannot express how much I love this movie. I adore this movie. This is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It would always have a special place in my heart. Whenever one of my little cousins wants to see a horror movie for the first time, or maybe not even a cousin but a family member, if they want to see a horror movie for the first time, I would show them Scream, because this for me is like my initiation into like the horror world. Like, Scream is just so special to me. I remember when I was a little girl, Scream was the first movie I saw by myself. In my opinion, when I go on TikTok, Instagram, or maybe even YouTube, I see a lot of people talking about the characters and the fashion. And don't get me wrong, those are incredible things in the Scream movie. But can we talk about the music? I mean, the music in this movie is so freaking good. Now, I know the song Red Right Hand by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds were in Scream 1, 2, and 3, but can we please talk about the songs? Like the other songs that were in the Scream movie. Like, there's so many good songs in Scream. Like, I know for the Alice Cooper song, School's Out, I remember when I was a kid, after the last day of school, I would play that song, and I would think of Scream, and then, but you know, also, that is the last day of school. But yeah, the music is incredible. I will definitely link songs down below that I think are just so good from the first Scream. And I would also love to recommend you guys Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like, I like those. I haven't seen the new ones, to be honest, and I don't think I'm ever going to. Sorry, I'm like a diehard fan for just the Wes Craven films, because he's my favorite director, and I don't know, I feel like I would be like disloyal to him if I saw the other new ones that came out, to be honest. I absolutely love the cast. I can't see anyone else playing these characters, but I gotta be honest, the one person that I was so surprised to see in Scream was Henry Winkler. I was not expecting him at all to be in this movie. I don't know why, but like, I feel like since he's like the nicest guy in Hollywood, just to see him play a principal who curses and who can like snap, but also be very kind, especially to Sydney. He was very nice to Sydney, but just to see him curse at students, like, if Henry was to like curse at me, I would cry. If you don't know Henry Winkler, he played a character named the Fonz, and he was also in a couple of Adam Sandler movies. The first 3 I can think of is he was in the movie Click, Little Nicky, and The Waterboy. And he was also in 2 shows that I can think of right now. He was in the show Barry and Arrested Development. And one other thing I would like to mention is that Henry is coming out with the book, and it's coming out on Halloween, October 31st of this year, 2023. How awesome is that? The book is called Being Henry, the Fonz, ... and Beyond. How cute is that? I will leave a link to the book in the description box below. I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to read it. And I hope you guys, if you get it, that you enjoy the book. I think I'm going to stop right there because I can go on and on about Scream. But I hope you guys enjoyed my recommendations. I hope you guys, if you see these movies for the first time, I hope you truly enjoy them. I hope they scare you, but not too bad that you don't get nightmares. I would love to hear what's your favorite horror movies of all time, so please don't be afraid to comment down below and give your opinions on why you love the movie so much, or if it's just so underrated, or whatever you think. Please leave them in the comments below. But anyway, I hope you have a great day. Please be careful. It's such a crazy, crazy world. Please don't forget to look both ways now that I'm thinking about Final Destination. But anyway, just be careful out there, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.